Oh, this game is so funny. No, bro. This game is funny, not funny. Wait, what do you mean? I just said funny. No, you said funny, not funny. I mean, what's funny is funny. I can't control. No, this game is specifically funny. It's in the title. Oh, you meant like the spell? Yeah, the spelling. Good one, bro. We live in rot. We have brain rot pack openings, brain rot fruit, and of course, steal a brain rot. But as more and more of this brain rot is created, more and more of the old brain rot dies and ends up in the bin. But little did we know that bin was a composter, creating the fertilizer needed for well-nourished offspring. Offspring that creates Wobble Edits, sons, and Funny Raccoon Game. What is Funny Raccoon Game though, and what makes me define it as a psychological humor game? I think the best way to describe it would be to compare it to the hypothetical game called Raccoon Game. Raccoon Game would just be a simple game about a raccoon going through a linear series of 3D platforming levels, with the end being marked by a piece of trash the raccoon will loot and take back to their trash can. A simple little collectathon. But when you decide to tack on the funny, levels turn non-linear, the trash can you live in becomes a talking pocket dimension AI dumpster, and the trash you collect becomes every single object you can pick up, as long as your raccoon gets shredded enough to pick it up from eating dumbbells. Whoa, you eat the dumbbells? That's such a subversion of expectations. That's so fun. So yeah, the way this game gets in your head is subversion. Almost every time you feel like you've understood the humor it's going for, it will add another depth of subversion to mess with your head. Because you will probably already be pretty occupied and amused with the whole collecting everything under the sun aspect of the game, collecting things like drugs, naked fellas, and the stray cat PNG set, which all slowly lull you into a false sense of security, giving you the wrong impression that this game is similar to a cheap magician, only here to fool you with the same type of carryable items with a different coat of paint each time. But some items you pick up aren't just a random equals funny, like when you run into a collectible tire that starts crying when you pick it up, cause turns out you just stole a tire salesman's tire kid, causing you to question the morality of putting your newly acquired tire kid in your dumpster dimension never to see its father again. Wait, didn't that flower pot you picked up earlier also have arms and legs like this? Did it also have a family? No, it didn't have a family, but like the bit's getting boring, I'm not gonna even shoot you, just leave, bro. And even if they did have a family, I can just clone one and give it back to their family because they'll never know the difference, surely. But after you irrevocably change multiple family dynamics, how about you subvert the mental stress that must be causing you in the water zone, which is this really relaxing area with a really mystically voiced soundtrack. The voice details the water zone's aspects and features while also making you feel calm and welcome. But unfortunately for you, the voice does eventually catch on that you are only going to cause chaos and revoke the calm of this zone with your presence, so it berates you, telling you to leave, which you have no choice but to do so.
You can await your next flight. Get the fuck out of here. In water zone, we expect our visitors to have a level of calm that you clearly do not project. So please leave.
And like how the water zone is now out of our reach, many times other areas will be just as out of reach for your raccoon, especially so when a lot of these areas are guarded by high-speed cars and trains blocking your path. And while most games would call upon your primal instincts from your Crossy Road era in 2014, Raccoon Game implores you to fling yourself in front of oncoming traffic as much as humanly possible to not only get you to areas you can't get to otherwise, but also as a form of inverse foreshadowing. Because while you might think all this getting hit by cars would maybe cause the raccoon to sympathize with the dangers pedestrians undertake anytime they need to cross the road, this isn't the case, and right when the raccoon gets their own vehicle, they will proceed to ram into pedestrians for money. But to be fair, if they really didn't want to get ran over, they wouldn't be walking on the sidewalk in the first place. This inverse foreshadowing also bled over into real life because there's a whole level based off the consumerism in our society and its effect on the environment, especially when it comes to the illegal plushie trade many content creators profit off of. And while the game takes a really harsh stance against this practice, it's actually just the dev providing a false sense of security to make you think you would be safe from consumerism. But as we speak, a Raccoon Game plush is in production, so much for that political stance, I guess. And this is the moment while writing the script I had to take a step back, because I noticed something. The first thing I noticed is that I'm not going to keep doing this corny video essay fourth wall break bit, And 2, well yeah, the game subverting expectations does allow for a unique form of psychological humor, isn't the way it's subverting just that frowned upon comedy tactic of random equals funny. Every subversion I pointed out in the game so far does so without rhyme or reason. And that confused me, making me wonder why I even enjoyed that randomness. And if this random subversion factor is all the game has to offer, why am I even making a video on it? The main difference I think this game has that saves it from being that one person in everyone's life that thinks saying potato is funny is the charm. For example, let me make a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? Potato. Potato. Get it? Potato. See, that probably didn't even get you any form of emotion. But what about this old vine?
A potato flew around my room before you came.
Even if you didn't laugh, at the very least you either enjoyed being reminded of how old you are or the visual of a potato on a ceiling fan backed by a Frank Ocean parody. And what about this joke said by this guy?
Say the joke.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Potato.
Potato who?
Potato chicken.
The joke alone doesn't make it funny, but the silence after might get you, since bro's getting done extremely dirty. Or maybe you can relate with the cameraman due to the similar feeling of listening to my jokes throughout this video so far. However, all that is to say this game's randomness is supplemented by charm and the context of which they are presented, which in turn is exactly how the game can use randomness to achieve the psychological humor genre in my book. But I feel like we can take this psychological nature of this game a bit further, more so than just examples of subversion. Since this game has so many subversions into different types of humor and absurdity, I feel like this game casts a very wide net. And even if all my examples of the subversion / jokes weren't funny to you so far, there are tons of others that probably can get at least a smile, which, if we compare what humor is effective or not for you, can allow for me to start to get a psychological profile of what exactly you think is funny. So real quick, I actually am going to bring on a psychology major to drop a quick little profiling test, and he was also kind enough to come on the video himself to personally describe it to you while it's on screen. Yeah, so I'm here to diagnose you. So basically, if you felt a positive emotion at any of the previous parts of the game that were shown, you definitely have some humor similarities to a hyena, and are probably, Achilles star sign or something like that. And if you didn't laugh, you kind of vibe more with the sea pickle and are aligned with the Sisyphus star sign. I'm sorry, I just double checked this guy's resume and he's only a freshman in a psych major, no clue where he came from. Why was he using star signs? Maybe it could still be a tool to psychologically analyze, I think, but I can't prove it anymore without a professional, so I guess just focus on the subversion part of the video. Unless you agree with what the Moai head said about you, well, and if you do, you can claim that. So yeah, that's about it for why I think Funny Raccoon Game is a psychological humor game. I feel like I probably dove a little too deep into what's essentially just a game where the goal was to put as many things that the dev felt were funny into it as possible. And honestly, what did I expect from the creator of 400 Feral Dogs in the Backrooms? But the music from the game, which I've been using this whole video, is fire, and even the art style I mess with, no matter how intentionally scuffed it is, even with its use of straight up royalty-free PNGs. Like, nobody complained when Paper Mario used 2D sprites in a 3D game, why can't we use 2D sprites in a funny game? Also, I spoiled nothing, and the game is on sale for at least a day or so after uploading this, and even if you are watching this later, one sale here probably implies it'll go on sale again, which implies something else, but I won't say what, but you can infer what if you think about what the what is I'm insinuating. Thanks to my YouTube members Stevie, John, and Luca, appreciate y'all, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Oh, but one thing that absolutely sucks about this game is this one NPC that says he could build a business or something on this land if there were no more trees in this area. And coincidentally, with your car you get right before this, you can destroy trees, so I cleared the area I presumed bro meant, but apparently that wasn't enough for this guy to give me new dialogue, so I went even further and cleared out every tree in the entire map, and bro still had nothing for me, so yeah, never mind, the game sucks and I made up the whole video. Subversion.